While giant animals often take center stage in sci-fi movies and children's television shows, they're also a fascinating part of our real world. Not all of these colossal creatures are the result of lab experiments. Some simply live to eat and have no interest in exercise, which might feel a little too relatable for some of us. From a record-breaking pig to a jaw-dropping giant stingray, the natural world is full of astonishingly large animals that defy expectations. Let's dive into 15 shockingly massive creatures that actually exist. Number 15. Giant catfish. The catfish is one of the most elusive kinds of marine wildlife on our planet. What I'm about to show you is not your average catfish, but it is one of the most notable, mostly because it's just so unusual. That feels like an understatement, actually. This catfish was caught in northern Thailand's Mekong River, and even the fishers didn't quite know what to make of it. Measuring almost 9 feet long and weighing an unbelievable 646 pounds, this single fish was nearly as big as a grizzly bear. Experts quickly announced that this fish may just be the biggest freshwater fish ever recorded, and if that's not true, I may eat my own shoe and upload it to YouTube. The plan was to prepare the fish for a specialized breeding program, thereby ensuring that descendants of this unique fish would continue to live in the waters. Unfortunately, it died pretty quickly and the villagers ate it, but the thought was there. A bear-sized catfish sounds like the stuff of nightmares, but experts worldwide are now desperate to get one of these unique animals for themselves. The IUCN has labeled the species critically endangered, and many fishers are still looking for another of these record-breaking fish. They're going to have serious back problems if they keep pulling these things out of the water. Number 14. Biggest Great Dane. While humans take the honor and do a kind of publicity tour victory lap, animals don't seem to care too much about world records. They receive them and then they go and have a nap or scratch up your door again. Anyway, this is Freddy, the world's largest dog. Freddy is a Great Dane, much like Scooby-Doo, although without all of the talking and the mystery solving and the Scooby snacks, he's not quite there yet. Standing at 7 feet 6 inches tall and weighing an almost unfathomable 202 pounds, Freddy is a behemoth of a dog, and he's also an incredibly expensive pet, costing his owner some 12,500 pounds in maintenance every year. All that considered, it's really no surprise that he is the record holder of the world's biggest dog. This guy is so huge you could probably confuse him for a very unusual human. Great Danes, even at their most ordinary, are huge dogs, but this is a whole other level of insanity. Even Scooby-Doo wasn't 7 feet tall, which is a shame because if he was, he probably could have made even better sandwiches. Such a waste. Number 13. Huge coconut crab. Do you know that the coconut crab is the largest land-dwelling crustacean anywhere on Earth? A follow-up question. Did you know what the coconut crab was? If you said yes, you're either a filthy liar or a devout crab aficionado, in which case, kudos to you. The coconut crab is a fascinating species that moves quickly, likes to climb palm trees, and eats coconuts. They're basically the crab equivalent of a millionaire 35-year-old tech genius who's retired to some Caribbean island because he's had enough of being around the normies, but enough about me. Adult coconut crabs can have a leg span of up to 3 feet wide, and due to their love of coconuts, their pincers have a strength you can't even begin to imagine. Seriously, you put a human bone in there, it'll be dust in seconds. The spider-like coconut crab is one of the more intriguing animals you can find in a tropical environment. I mean, a crab climbing a tree? What is this, The Little Mermaid but on dry land? In all seriousness, these 8-pound crabs will break your bones with their pincers. I have no scientific facts to back that up, but also, I kind of don't want to find out. Number 12. Massive reticulated python. Medusa famously had snakes for hair, but I think even she would have thought this reticulated python was a little much. Named after said serpent-headed nightmare, Medusa is a 25-foot-long reticulated python, or, as some snake-phobic people say, insert curse word of choice here. I don't know who's got who. She's so heavy. Reticulated pythons are generally known as the world's largest snakes, but Medusa is in a league of her own. In 2011, Medusa was awarded the Guinness World Record for the longest snake ever raised in captivity, and you can't argue with the facts. When it came time for her measurement to be taken, this 10-year-old snake required 15 men to hold her at full length just to be sure they could get a proper reading. And she's not light. Medusa weighs a whopping 350 pounds, meaning those 15 guys really had to limber up for this. I bet they were still sore the next month. Medusa has been known to eat a whole 40-pound deer with one bite, so her owners weren't surprised by her weight. Those 15 guys, though, imagine your day consisting of carrying a snake while a guy with a tape measure hurried alongside. It's just another day in the life of the Guinness World Records people. Number 11. Giant cow. Okay, so technically we're not dealing with a cow here. This is a steer, and not your average steer. This is a giant, unimaginably large animal that went viral almost immediately after the first photo hit the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Knickers. Knickers is a giant steer in Western Australia, standing at 6 feet 4 inches at the shoulder, which isn't quite record-breaking, but it's close. The current world record holder for the largest steer on Earth belongs to Bolano, an Italian cow that stands at an insane 6 feet 6 inches. However, in Australia, you can't get much bigger than Knickers. I mean, this cow weighs a whopping 3,080 pounds. Knickers' size made him a standout in his herd, often towering over the other cattle like a gentle giant. His owner, Jeff Pearson, initially kept him because of his size, as he was too big to be processed at the local abattoir. Knickers quickly became a local celebrity, with people traveling from far and wide just to catch a glimpse of him. His calm demeanor and imposing stature made him a favorite among visitors, who often compared him to a living legend. Social media exploded with photos and videos of Knickers, with many dubbing him the king of the pasture. Is it any surprise people couldn't stop talking about this cow in 2018? I mean, that's a hell of a lot of beef. Knickers is probably the most famous cow this world will ever see. I mean, could you name a more famous one? I didn't think so. If there's only going to be one, a record-breaking world steer is about as good as you could possibly hope for. Now it's time for today's topic. A jaw-dropping image of what is being called the largest snake ever caught on camera has surfaced on a Reddit thread, sparking a frenzy of debate and speculation. The photo, allegedly taken in the dense rainforests of the Amazon basin, shows a colossal snake sprawled across a bridge, its sheer size dwarfing the onlookers nearby. Estimated to be over 50 feet long, the snake's vibrant yellow and black scales glisten in the light, making it look like something out of a prehistoric era. According to the Reddit post, the snake was discovered by locals after heavy rains caused flooding in the area, forcing the creature out of its hidden lair. Some commenters claim it could be a record-breaking anaconda, a species known for its massive size, but even the specimen seems far beyond anything previously documented. However, not everyone is convinced. Many skeptics argue that the image is digitally enhanced, pointing out inconsistencies in the lighting and proportions. Experts have yet to verify the authenticity of the photo, leaving the internet divided. Whether it's a genuine discovery or an elaborate hoax, the image has reignited fascination with the mysteries lurking in the uncharted depths of the Amazon rainforest. Number 10. Giant cat. It'd be pretty easy for us to cop out on this one by listing some kind of big cat like a tiger or a lion. Well, we're not going to do that. We're bringing you an actually giant domestic cat, and you really have to see it to believe it because there's a lot to see. Goliath is a giant cat, around 3 times the size of your average household kitty. He's a big boy that requires a little bit of strength to carry around, but I'm sure he's incredibly cuddly. In many ways, Goliath reminds me of Garfield, although I have no idea if he likes Mondays or not. I get the feeling he's not a fan of weekdays generally. Goliath's size is attributed to a rare genetic mutation, making him a standout even among other large domestic cats. His fur is a luxurious mix of orange and white, giving him a regal appearance that matches his larger-than-life personality. Despite his size, Goliath is surprisingly agile, often leaping onto high surfaces with ease and grace. His favorite pastime includes lounging in sunbeams and batting at toys that are almost comically small in his massive paws. The staff at the sanctuary quickly fell in love with his gentle demeanor and playful antics, often joking that he was more like a small lion than a house cat. Goliath's appetite matches his size, with the cat devouring large portions of food that would leave most felines stuffed. His purr is deep and resonant, almost like a soft rumble that can be felt as much as heard. Visitors to the sanctuary were often amazed by his size, with many taking photos to share on social media, where he quickly gained a following. Goliath's story has inspired countless memes and fan art, with people dubbing him the gentle giant of the cat world. His new owners were thrilled to welcome him into their home, where he quickly became the center of attention and affection. Either way, you could just imagine a cuddle with Goliath would be like hugging the warmest ball of love you could ever find. When they found him, the staff kept him in the animal sanctuary for a few days before neutering him and finding him a new loving forever home. And hopefully, that home gives him all the love that he deserves because, you know what? He's a beautiful cat that deserves all the lasagna he wants. Oh wait, that's Garfield. And my point stands. Number 9. Big liger. We tend to think of the Guinness Book of World Records as a place for humans who have achieved true greatness. Perhaps they've scaled Everest or kept their eyes open for a long time or just collected a lot of McDonald's junk, but it's greatness nonetheless. However, animals also have their place in the Book of Records. Admittedly, none of them have any McDonald's memorabilia. Meet Hercules, a liger and the current record holder for the world's largest living cat. Well, with a name like Hercules, what did you expect? In case you didn't know, a liger is a hybrid offspring of a male lion and a female tiger, and Hercules is, well, he's what the kids would call a unit. Hercules weighs 922 pounds, stands 49 inches tall at the shoulder, and measures 131 inches in length. Or, to sum that up in plain English, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Hercules resides at the Myrtle Beach Safari in South Carolina, where he has become a major attraction for visitors from around the globe. His caretakers describe him as surprisingly gentle despite his imposing size, often playing with enrichment toys and enjoying the occasional swim. The liger's diet is as massive as he is, consuming up to 20 pounds of meat daily, including beef, chicken, and even the occasional whole turkey. Hercules' roar can be heard from miles away, a deep, rumbling sound that sends shivers down the spine of anyone who hears it. His unique genetics give him a striking appearance, with the golden fur of a lion and the faint stripes of a tiger. Despite his size, Hercules is known for his agility, capable of leaping great distances and running at impressive speeds. His story has inspired documentaries and TV specials, showcasing the fascinating world of hybrid animals. Visitors often describe meeting Hercules as a once-in-a-lifetime experience, with many leaving in awe of his sheer presence. His trainers emphasize the importance of conservation, using Hercules as an ambassador to raise awareness about endangered big cats. Social media has played a huge role in spreading his fame, with fans sharing photos and videos of the gentle giant. Hercules' legacy continues to grow, as he remains a symbol of the incredible diversity and power of the animal kingdom. Like both of its parents, the liger could probably kill you in a second if it really felt like it. Let's be real, he's earned the privilege, having won the world record for being the largest cat in the world. I bet even his parents would be scared of him. Number 8. Big horse. And we're not just talking about any big horse. We're talking about Big Jake, the internationally beloved Belgian gelding horse that broke a world record just for standing up. And to think, how many times we stand up in a single day without any recognition. I am shocked. Big Jake stands at 20 hands high, around 82 inches or so tall, which made him the tallest horse in the world when the Guinness Book of World Records measured him in January 2010. That single world record acknowledgement immediately transformed him into a bona fide star, with people flocking from all over the world just to see him in person. Big Jake's owners, Jerry Gilbert and his family, were amazed by the attention their gentle giant received, often hosting visitors who traveled thousands of miles just to meet him. The horse's diet was as impressive as his size, consuming over 40 pounds of hay and 20 gallons of water daily. Despite his towering stature, Big Jake was known for his calm and friendly demeanor, often nuzzling visitors and posing for photos. His barn had to be specially modified to accommodate his height, with higher ceilings and reinforced stalls. Big Jake's fame even led to appearances at local fairs and events, where he became a symbol of strength and grace. Children adored him, often comparing him to a real-life unicorn due to his majestic presence. The horse's story inspired countless articles, documentaries, and even a children's book, cementing his place in pop culture. Social media played a huge role in spreading his fame, with fans creating fan pages and sharing stories of their encounters with him. Big Jake's owners often joked that he had more fans than most celebrities, and they weren't wrong. His gentle nature and larger-than-life personality made him a favorite among animal lovers worldwide. The Guinness World Records team described him as a gentle giant, a title that perfectly captured his essence. For those who can't travel to Wisconsin to see a big horse, the Guinness World Records YouTube channel decided to post a video of this huge horse in 2012. That video went on to amass over 3.5 million views, making him one of the most popular horses on YouTube. Man, that's a weird sentence. It's hard to think of a better tourist attraction for a Wisconsin farm than a really big horse. But a really big horse with a world record? That's not just a tourist attraction. That's basically a global monument. Number 7. Giant pig. How much does your average pig weigh? If it's a domestic pig, you're normally looking somewhere between 110 and 777 pounds. Well, this ain't no ordinary pig. You're looking at 2,100 pounds of pure, unfiltered pig. The pig was raised by farmer Chun Chongsung in Taiwan, which is apparently one of the most popular pastimes you can find in rural Taiwan. According to Chongsung, the pig was one of the laziest that he had ever seen, eating so much leftover food that it eventually lost the ability to walk due to its massive weight. There's a reality show in there somewhere. The pig's diet consisted of everything from rice and vegetables to leftover noodles and even the occasional sweet treat, which only fueled its rapid growth. Locals would often visit the farm just to catch a glimpse of the colossal creature, marveling at its sheer size. Chongsung even joked that the pig had become a local celebrity, with people bringing offerings of food just to see it eat. The pig's pen had to be reinforced multiple times to support its weight, and it eventually required a custom-made feeding trough. Despite its size, the pig was surprisingly gentle, often napping in the sun and enjoying the occasional belly rub from its caretakers. Its massive frame became a symbol of prosperity in the village, with many believing it brought good luck. The pig's story even caught the attention of local media, with reporters flocking to the farm to document its extraordinary life. Chongsung admitted that he never expected his pig to grow so large, but he took pride in its unique journey. The pig's fame spread beyond Taiwan, with international news outlets picking up the story of the gentle giant. Social media exploded with memes and fan art, turning the pig into an internet sensation. Some even suggested that the pig deserved its own documentary, given its larger-than-life presence. Luckily, the pig's unimaginable weight had an extra benefit. After 20 men somehow managed to lift the pig onto a truck and drive it to a temple to be blessed, the pig was entered into a contest. Which contest, you ask? Taiwan's fattest pig contest, naturally. It turns out that this pig won with basically no competition, as it was classified as the biggest pig to live on the island for over 200 years. That's quite an achievement. It's not quite a world record, but it's definitely something to put on a resume if pigs had resumes, that is. Number 6. Giant oarfish. The giant oarfish is the unicorn of the ocean, one of those legendary animals few people have ever seen in person, but that absolutely definitely exists. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible, and now we finally have some evidence of that. Here is actual footage of one of the ocean's rarest animals. The giant oarfish can reach up to 55 feet long in the right conditions, making this one of the largest bony fish in the ocean. Known scientifically as Reticulated glesson, the giant oarfish is often referred to as the king of herrings due to its silvery, ribbon-like body and crown-like dorsal fins. These creatures are deep-sea dwellers, typically found at depths of up to 3,000 feet, which is why sightings are so rare. Their long, slender bodies are covered in a silvery sheen, and their dorsal fins run the entire length of their bodies, giving them an almost mythical appearance. Despite their size, giant oarfish are not predators. They feed primarily on plankton, small fish, and squid, using their small, toothless mouths to filter food from the water. Their bodies are so delicate that they often break apart when washed ashore, adding to their mysterious reputation. And just think, many people have only seen these animals when they're already dead or dying on the shore. What a waste, right? Well, now we're looking at the longest fish ever discovered in our world's oceans and possibly the cause of a great many sea serpent legends. According to some experts, people in old times frequently confused this animal for the notorious sea serpent, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, a 50-foot-long fish in the dark, shadowy ocean? Yikes. Right now that we've finally got footage of the giant oarfish, it's only a matter of time before we get actual proof of the unicorn. Look, I will continue living in the hope that this thing exists until I get proof it doesn't. Number 5. Large rabbit. How big could the biggest rabbit in the world possibly be? The answer is probably not what you'd expect. Darius is currently the largest rabbit in the world, measuring a crazy 4 feet 4 inches long. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you see his son. Darius and his son Jeff are members of a breed of rabbit known as the continental giant, originally bred for meat before they became a popular choice for a house pet. These rabbits are known for their docile and friendly nature, often described as gentle giants due to their calm demeanor despite their massive size. Their fur is thick and soft, making them irresistible to pet, and their long ears add to their charm, often flopping over as they hop around. Continental giants are also surprisingly intelligent, capable of learning tricks and even responding to their names, much like a dog. They have a hearty appetite, consuming large amounts of hay, vegetables, and pellets to maintain their size and energy. Despite their size, they are surprisingly agile, able to hop and play with the same enthusiasm as smaller rabbits. They're so big, by the way, that they have to sleep in dog crates rather than rabbit hutches. Owners of continental giants often joke that they need to buy dog-sized toys and accessories to keep up with their pets' needs. These rabbits also have a surprisingly long lifespan for their size, often living up to 5 to 7 years with proper care. If Darius is the biggest rabbit in the world, Jeff is lined up to take his place. At the time of this video, Jeff was 3 feet 8 inches long, but he still had 6 months of growing left to do. Can you imagine how big he was by the time he finished developing? There are smaller dogs. Rabbits are beautiful, gentle animals, and these giant bunnies are especially fascinating. I mean, at this size, they're basically dogs with big ears and no barking. But you can't tell me you don't want one. Number 4. Biggest ocean sunfish. There's something genuinely frightening about the idea of discovering a fish that's much, much bigger than you. But that's what happened to these Portuguese divers who were out to document a particularly big ocean sunfish, the world's largest bony fish. These fish are among the rarest species out in the world's oceans, but these divers happened to find a behemoth right out in the open. Ocean sunfish, also known as mola mola, are known for their peculiar appearance, with their flattened bodies and lack of a true tail, making them look like a giant floating head. Despite their odd shape, they are incredibly efficient swimmers, using their large dorsal and anal fins to propel themselves through the water. The divers were amazed by the sheer size of the sunfish, which seemed to dwarf everything else in its vicinity. Its skin was rough and mottled, covered in parasites that often hitch a ride on these gentle giants. Interestingly, ocean sunfish are known to leap out of the water, a behavior that scientists believe helps them dislodge parasites or communicate with other sunfish. While we can't be quite sure how large this one actually was, it clearly wasn't afraid of the divers, although I guess it's hard to be scared of something that is basically smaller than the size of your arm. It's like being afraid of a spider. Wait, okay, so I guess that's a bad example. The point is, this fish was huge and by far the biggest ocean sunfish discovered yet. Is that good enough? It's difficult for even the experts to locate ocean sunfish. These fish tend to be extremely primitive, preferring to keep to themselves rather than look for underwater paparazzi. Having seen their size, it's kind of a miracle that they're so good at hiding. Number 3. Large stingray. It must be a fascinating experience to be one of the National Geographic explorers. You spend your life traveling the world, exploring some of the most unknown and terrifying wilderness, hoping you find something that may kill you. There it is. Sounds like a regular day on the internet, actually. While searching for the world's largest freshwater fish in Thailand's Ben Pakong River, a group of National Geographic explorers discovered this. A heavily pregnant giant stingray giving birth. The stingray was estimated to weigh somewhere around 350 pounds, or the weight of your average powerlifter. This particular species, known as the giant freshwater stingray, Urogymnus polylepis, is one of the most elusive and mysterious creatures in the aquatic world. Its flat, disc-shaped body can span up to 7 feet wide, making it a true leviathan of the river. The explorers were stunned by the sheer size of the stingray, which seemed to glide effortlessly through the murky waters despite its massive bulk. Its tail, armed with a venomous barb, was a reminder of the animal's power, though it remained calm and undisturbed during the encounter. The team watched in awe as the stingray gave birth to several pups, each one a miniature version of its mother, already equipped with the tools to survive in the wild. The explorers naturally turned their cameras on to record the footage of the live birth, the first to be caught on camera in history. I'm sure the stingray was thrilled about these pesky humans turning up with cameras during her most intimate moment. I mean, geez, get to know a girl first. This was such a groundbreaking find that even the expert explorers were shocked by it. I guess the lesson is to do your research before you even try angling in rivers in international countries. You may accidentally pull up a 350-pound pregnant stingray. Number 2. Giant barrel jellyfish. Of all the waters in all the world, whoever would have expected to find a giant barrel jellyfish off the coast of England? Against all the odds, a biologist and her crew managed to find a colossal barrel jellyfish off the Cornwall coast. The biologist, Lizzie Daly, said that the creature was about as big as her body, making this the largest jellyfish species in British waters. These jellyfish, also known as Rhizostoma pulmo, are often referred to as dustbin lid jellyfish due to their massive, dome-shaped bell. They are typically found in the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, but sightings in British waters are rare and always cause a stir. The giant barrel jellyfish moves gracefully through the water, its translucent body shimmering in the sunlight, almost like a living piece of art. Despite their size, they are surprisingly gentle creatures, drifting with the currents and feeding on plankton and small fish. Their tentacles, which can stretch up to several feet long, are lined with tiny stinging cells, but these are not strong enough to harm humans. In fact, encounters with these jellyfish are often described as magical rather than frightening. The average diameter, just for context, is about 16 inches, or half the height of the late Vern Troyer. That's one big jellyfish, right? You'd be forgiven for thinking this thing could cause instant death with its sting, given the jellyfish's reputation, but actually, the sting of the giant barrel jellyfish is pretty harmless. Although, you don't exactly want to go sticking your hand on a stinging tentacle just for fun. It's highly unlikely that anybody in England will be jellyfish diving anytime soon, but it's nice to know that the people of Cornwall have the opportunity, at least. Who doesn't want to dive into some absurdly frigid water for the tiny possibility of seeing a giant animal that could potentially sting you? That's the British way. Number 1. Goliath frog. As crazy as it is to think about, there is such a thing as a giant frog. Apparently, some insects just require a bigger predator, and who better than a frog so big it literally has the word Goliath in its name. The Goliath frog, also known as the Goliath bullfrog or giant slippery frog if you're more of a say-what-you-see kind of guy, is the largest living frog anywhere on Earth. Individual specimens can grow up to 13 inches in length and weigh up to 7.2 pounds, which is pretty huge for a frog. These frogs are native to the rainforests of Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea, where they thrive in fast-flowing rivers and streams. Their massive size allows them to eat prey that other frogs wouldn't dare touch, including small fish, crustaceans, and even other frogs. Despite their intimidating size, Goliath frogs are surprisingly shy and prefer to stay hidden in the dense vegetation near water. Their skin is a mottled green and brown, which helps them blend seamlessly into their surroundings, making them nearly invisible to predators. Interestingly, these frogs don't have vocal sacs, so they don't croak like most frogs. Instead, they communicate through subtle body movements. The average weight of a frog, by the way, is around 0.05 pounds, so yeah, that's a surprisingly heavy frog that weighs almost as much as an Oscar statuette. No wonder it's known as a Goliath frog. Unfortunately, the population of the Goliath frog is falling rapidly due to environmental problems and the animal's popularity in the food and pet trade. Apparently, people are less interested in getting dogs and just want a giant frog to take for walks. I'm just kidding. People still love dogs. Which of these absurdly large animals do you think is the coolest? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out our other cool stuff popping up on your screen right now. See you next time.